Morning, everyone. I'm at my town center, about 3 miles from my house, and our event for today is the failed attempt to kill Adolf Hitler on July 20, 1944. And the war would last for almost another year. Here's a photograph of a Nazi Party rally in the mid-1930s. Makes it look like everybody loved Hitler, but not everybody did, and there were plots against his life already in the late 1930s. In June of 1941, the German army invaded Russia. This is known as Operation Barbarossa. And the German army was very successful early on, so successful that Hitler moved the army headquarters to Poland. That's the black dot on this map. It was nicknamed the Wolf's Lair, and this is where our event happened on this date, 1944. The Gestapo was getting wind of plots against Hitler, and the net was starting to close on the conspirators, so that's one reason they acted when they did. And the German generals did not like Hitler because they wanted to save Germany. And they thought the war was going to destroy Germany. So they were not lovers of democracy, but they wanted to preserve their country. So here's Klaus von Stauffenberg. He was born in Bavaria, in southern Germany, of an aristocratic family. He had joined the army in the 1920s, but he never joined the Nazi Party. And an event that had a big impact on him was this. In 1934, it's known as the Night of the Long Knives, Hitler had ordered the SS to murder some of his former colleagues. So the violence of the Nazis was getting on von Stauffenberg's conscience. Here's a picture from the battle at Kasserine Pass in Tunisia, North Africa. Von Stauffenberg was here, was severely wounded, and while in the hospital in Germany, approached by the conspirators. This is a photograph of the Battle of Stalingrad. This lasted for months. It was a big, big loss for Germany. And then, D-Day had happened too. So by the time of our story, Germany was not looking so great. Operation Valkyrie is the word we use for the plot to kill Hitler. It had had another meaning earlier, but that's the word we use now. Hitler had been famous as a public speaker. But by the time of our story, he had largely withdrawn from the public. It was hard to see him. He very rarely appeared. So how to get to him? So here's a photograph of one of the guard entrances at the Wolf's Lair. Hitler was highly protected. He usually had lots of people around him. Here's another picture of Hitler at the Wolf's Lair. So the plotters tried to figure out a way for von Stauffenberg to attend a conference where he could plant a bomb with a timer, and that's what happened. So here's a diagram of the table. Hitler's the blue dot. The yellow square is the bomb, which von Stauffenberg placed with the timer. He got out in time, but didn't know that someone had moved the bomb to another side of a big table leg. So the bomb exploded. Here's a picture of the room, but that table leg shielded Hitler from the blast. Others were killed. Hitler was wounded, and von Stauffenberg, not knowing this, sent the word out, hey, Hitler's dead. But it soon became clear Hitler was still alive. Here's another picture of the room. And the conspirators who had come out thinking Hitler was dead now had some choices to make, and many of them committed suicide. Eventually, over 5,000 people were executed as part of the plot. Well, Hitler had to leave the Wolf's Lair in Poland because the Red Army was coming. He eventually went to Berlin. Here's a model of the bunker in Berlin where he committed suicide. Here's a picture of the Red Army in Berlin with their flag on the Reichstag. So it was the Russians who overran the Wolf's Lair, and it was the Russians who captured Berlin. The Americans didn't come to Berlin until some weeks later. Now, you can visit the Wolf's Lair. These are some pictures. The Germans used so much cement when they built it that the Russian army was not able to destroy it, even though they tried. And it's quite a big complex, and many of the buildings are still there in one form or another, including this one that has that old Nazi insignia. A reminder of the brutality and the violence of the Nazi regime during World War II.